Babe, how are you? I've just been doing a bit of research into the DSM and all the mental disorders that there are out there. And it strikes me that the main mental disorder is not in there, and that's the neurotypical. Obviously, we know why, because 85% are neurotypical. But here's the thing. I've created a diagnostic criteria for the neurotypical. Here it is. Part A. Persistent deficits in social communication and social interaction across multiple contexts as manifested by the following currently or by history. 1. Deficits in social emotional reciprocity, ranging, for example, from rigid, biased and subjective conditioned beliefs and archaic customs taught by parents, family members and or humans within their ecology, to a reduced sharing of interests about the world, the cosmos, and out-of-the-box thinking. A distinct failure to respond to diverse thinking and higher levels of interactions and thought, which are not as socially, politically, and ecologically accepted within their herd. Failure to ask questions and inquire as to why they should simply accept what they've been told and instead simply follow the socially and culturally accepted norm of their ecology. Using emotions to get what they want and be accepted into the neurotypical herd. Teasing and bullying other humans who are different from what they've been taught and conditioned to be acceptable. Earning respect by adhering to the ecology of the ecology's set beliefs and set customs without question. This can quite often lead to quite significant mental distress and anxiety, and even physical harm to humans who do not comply with the neurotypical's fixed interests and lack of empathy and openness towards individuals who do not think and act like the rest of the neurotypicals of their ecology, who they consider basically aliens, even to the death to the non-compliant diverse humans. Number 2, deficits in non-verbal communicative behaviours used for social interaction, ranging, for example, from poorly integrated verbal and non-verbal communication to abnormalities in eye contact and body language or deficits in understanding the use of gestures, to a total lack of facial expressions and non-verbal communication. Examples include, "What are you fucking looking at?" in response to an innocent glare from another human being. And, "Why are you smiling at me?" Yeah. And judgmentally and subjectively coming to conclusions about another human being based on set bias and social conditioning. This can often lead to persecution and violence towards the divergent human being. Deficits in developing understanding and maintaining relationships with humans who are divergent from their social conditioning, ranging, for example, from difficulties adjusting to a different, deeper, more inquisitive and curious way of looking at the social herd mentality of others, and becoming extremely hostile to other human beings who do not adjust their behaviours to fit in to the ambiguous socially shaped context. Difficulties in befriending and accepting the left out, alien, weird human beings who don't conform to the socially accepted norm of the ecology into which they are born. An absence in the wants and needs of their socially awkward peers, and only thinking of their own needs and wants. And the peers who follow their socially conditioned wants and needs. Outcasting the divergent humans who they can't understand, who they do not want to understand. This can quite often lead to a gang, tribal, mob-type mentality within a group of neurotypicals towards strange individual humans who do not fit into the mainstream of their ecology. Examples can include racism, intolerance, labelling, homophobia, and closed-mindedness, even genocide. Part B. Restricted repetitive patterns of behaviour, interests, or activities as manifested by at least two of the following currently or by history. Stereotyped or repetitive socially learnt movements or speech. Examples: how to use New South Wales Foundation handwriting correctly, and how to rote learn correctly, and how to fake smile and to use fake niceties to other human beings correctly. As well as labelling humans and things based on subjectivity, echoing and repeating phrases heard from parents and humans within their ecology, making judgmental statements without question based on skin colour or other stereotypes. Other examples of the neurotypical disorder with regards to this impediment may include saying, "Stop questioning and just do it," and "this is the way it has always been done," and "my culture has always done it this way," and "those humans who think differently are retards, as my mum told me they are." Number 2, insistence on sameness and normality and an obsessive inflexibility and adherence to routines or ritualised patterns of verbal or non-verbal behaviour. Examples include a fixed mindset on religion, a fixed mindset on culture, a fixed mindset on ethnic identity, or all of these. A fixed mindset in archaic, non-progressive cultural beliefs and a denial, or at least unwillingness to accept, well-proven authentic science and logic, like climate change. The need to eat food every day and follow the same route and routine every day. Highly restricted fixated interests that disallow the neurotypical to diversify their thoughts. A very strong attachment to their ecology, erring towards tribalism, which allows the neurotypical's mind to be shaped like plastic to conform and become part of their ecological herd, only interested in what immediately benefits them, without actually being interested in finding out answers as to why that might benefit them. Highly restrictive behaviours that do not make them curious, very rarely being able to change their mind or open up their thoughts to new possibilities, because their minds have synaptically pruned and have been shaped and then become fixed and set in their ways. Very little hypersensitivity to and engagement to the environment. Example: neurotypicals are seldom curious towards sounds and sights and smells in nature. They prefer not to investigate them. They are not hypersensitive to a small unusual sound at night, for example. They rarely see a small anomaly in a picture or photograph, for example. They do not have an eye for small detail in a photographic memory, for example. They very rarely look deeper into patterns in nature and their ecology and their sociology, for example. They are not hypersensitive, and they are not very observant, for example.